Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today's live stream. So the topic is on the board and we will get to that. But before we start, please take a look right here. You can see that there is a banner right below here that says you can get a bunch of different free PDF cheat sheets. And those are all different topics with vocab words that could be very, very helpful. And as you can see on the side right here, those are the different topics. There are ones about family, pets, clothing, shopping, you name it. We have everything. So feel free to click on the link in the description and then check out all of these different free cheat sheets that you can download. Okay, so good morning to everyone who is joining. If it's evening for you or afternoon, I'm not sure, then good afternoon, good evening. But here right now it's morning, and I see it's morning for a lot of other people as well. Okay, so first what we have today on the board are homonyms. And then below that I have homophones, homographs, which is what we will get into today. So first, just a little bit of background. So the word homonym, so it comes from sort of a Greek origin, the word homos, which means same, and then we have onoma, which is name. So it's essentially, the word means same name. So homonyms are basically words that share the same spelling or the same pronunciation, so same sound, or even both, but they have different meanings. Okay. Ooh, I see someone is joining in from Morocco. Very, very cool. Would love to visit there. Ooh, I see someone saying good morning in Japanese, Ohio. So good evening, yes, to those who are joining in the evening. And okay, so thank you guys for joining. And again, remember, you can always ask questions or type comments. If you want to ask something, say something, go for it. Okay, so homonyms basically are words, it could be two or more words that have the same spelling or same sound, but different meanings. And then we have another word here that says homophones. So it gets a little confusing because they all sound very similar, but there's a slight difference. So homophone, so homos is same, and then phone means sound. So that's like the Greek origin. So it means same sound. So basically words that have the same sound, but different meanings. Then right below homophones, we have the word homographs. And it comes from the origin homos, same, again, and then grapho, which is to write. So same writing, so to speak, which basically are words that have the same spelling, but different meanings. So these are the three main words: homophones, homographs, and homonyms. And here I did a little bit of a chart, graph, picture, just so that maybe this can be a little bit more visual to those of you who are visual learners. You can take a look at this and this will be pretty helpful. And ooh, I see someone joining in from Peru, from China, Afghanistan, Taiwan, Venezuela. Wow, all of these are places that I would love to visit one day. And I'm really happy to have you all join today's live stream. Okay, so back to this picture right here, this diagram that I drew. So a homophone basically is same sound, different spelling, or it could be the same sound and same spelling. So for example, do you want me to come to? So to and to, they're spelled differently, but they sound the same. Then we have the same sound, same spelling. In this example, I will book a table in the book cafe. So book and book. And then we have homograph, which could be different sound, same spelling, or same sound, same spelling. So I saw him cutting wood with a saw. So going back to homophone, two and two. They are spelled differently and they have different meanings, but they are the same sound. So to is, do you want me to do something? And then to is like also. Then this one, book and book. So I will book. So in this meaning here, book means to, for example, make a reservation, to book an appointment, whatever it is. And then this one in the book cafe. So a book cafe would be a place where you could read books, cafe, so book meaning the book that you would read. And then for this one, saw and saw. I saw him, so that would be the past tense of see, cutting wood with a saw. So here, saw is it's like the knife that you would use to cut wood. Okay, and then this next part is a little bit confusing, but basically I wrote homonym here because there are there's a debate about really what the exact definition of a homonym is. So some people will see it as sort of an overarching category that includes both homophones and homographs. So either they have the same spelling or the same sound but different meaning. But there is also a more strict definition that refers to a homonym as both a homophone and a homograph, and that's why I drew this Venn diagram here. So some people who go by the very strict definition of what a homonym is would say that it has to have the same sound and same spelling. So then it would need to be, I will book a table in the book cafe. But the definition itself is not really the most important. It's important to know the difference between each of the words. Okay, so that was basically a brief rundown of what each of those are, and then we will get into all the content here, which are the examples. And I see some other people are joining from Tanzania. Ooh, wow, Mexico. And to answer your question, Alicia and I are not related. And, oh, yes, I see some people sending examples, which is great. So would and would. Yes, that's a good example. If you have other examples or if you would like to type in sentences, please feel free to do that in the comments below. And moving on to Facebook really quick, I see someone joining in from the Philippines. Very nice. That's actually a place I would love to visit. And just recently, I went to a Filipino festival that they had going on, and it was really great. And I see someone joining in from Myanmar, from Haiti. Okay, great. We have a very international group, love that. From India, from Saudi Arabia, Bangladesh, awesome. Okay, so now let's get into some of the examples for each of the different ones that we have here. So we'll start off with homophones. So the first example I have here is bear and bear. So remember, homophone, they can have the same sound but different spelling. And in this case, bear, B-E-A-R, is the animal, like grizzly bear, or polar bear, or panda bear, whatever kind of bear that you would like. And then this one, B-A-R-E, would be like, for example, your bare hands. So just your hands. Then right below that, we have board and board. So the first board, B-O-A-R-D, is like this, right here. This right here is a board. You could also have a blackboard, but in this case, this is a whiteboard. Then we have B-O-R-E-D, board, which is like, for example, maybe you're sitting in a class and it's just the teacher keeps going on and on in a very monotonous tone and it's boring. So you are bored. So they have two completely different spellings and meanings, but they sound the same. So homophones, same sound. Then we have doe and doe. So doe, D-O-E, would be a female deer. And then we have D-O-U-G-H, which is like the dough that you would use to make bread or bake goods. The next one we have is meat and meat. So the first meet is with two E's, M-E-E-T. So that is for an example, you're meeting somebody for the first time. So me and this person, we're meeting each other. And then this one, M-E-A-T, is the meat that you would eat. So for example, beef is a type of meat. Chicken is a type of meat. And then we have peace and peace. The first piece, spelled P-E-A-C-E, hopefully you guys can see that, is like tranquility, calmness, world peace. So a lot of people, maybe sometimes they like to preach and talk about, okay, my dream is to one day have world peace, something like that. And then the second piece, P-I-E-C-E, that's like, let me take a piece of apple pie, or this is a small piece, so a small portion, a small chunk, or a big piece. And then right below that, we have add and add. So the first add, AD, would be like an advertisement, so short for advertisement. So maybe when you go to a place like New York, you'll see all these different lights and boards and signs, and those are billboard ads. Then we have ADD, which is add, for example, like addition. So you have 1 plus 1, which equals, everybody, hopefully, you know, 2, right? Okay, so yes, that's add. And then right below that, we have 8 and 8. And the first 8, A-T-E, is the past tense for eat. So I ate a hamburger yesterday night. The second 8, E-I-G-H-T, that is the number, so 8. Okay, and I see more people joining in. Somebody asked about how you can get the PDF. It will be in the description. There will be a link, and you can click on that link and then head over there. It'll redirect you. You can download all the PDFs. And for those of you that maybe missed it at the beginning, right here, this banner says you can get a bunch of free PDF cheat sheets. And so once you open the description down below, you can find the link, click that link, and then you will be brought to this lovely selection of cheat sheets with many different topics, with a bunch of vocab words that you can use to reference, or if you like to do some homework and practice maybe using some of these vocabulary words and sentences, that would be great. So just feel free to click that link and then it will bring you right here. And as you can see, there are different topics like pets, cooking, shopping, music, you name it. Everything will be right here. Okay, so I see some more people joining in from Egypt, from Brazil, someone else from, I want to say, is it Senegal? I'm guessing? Malaysia. Wow, yes, we have people from all around the world. That's amazing, and I'm happy that you guys are all here today learning about homonyms, homophones, and homographs. Okay, so, and again, for those of you that missed it at the beginning, you can feel free to type in any examples that maybe you come up with or questions that you might have right into the chat or the comments. Okay, so we covered all of these examples. So moving on to this side, we have B and B. So be is the verb to be. So like to be or not to be. Or for example, I will be going to the mall today. Then we have the second bee, B-E-E. That is the insect, like the bzz, the buzzing bee. The one that is generally yellow and black, striped. I would draw it, but my drawing's not that great. Okay, then the next example we have is blue and blue. So the first blue, B-L-E-W, is the past tense of blow. So I blew into a balloon. Then this blue, B-L-U-E, is the color. So this would be blue, the color blue. Then we have here and here. So the first here, H-E-R-E, is here, right? It could be like a location, a time and place. So we are here today doing the live stream, and you guys are here joining the live stream. Then the second here, H-E-A-R, is to be able to hear something, so listening. So for example, oh, I can hear the loud music playing from my next door neighbor. And then we have hour and hour. So the first hour, H-O-U-R, would be referring to time. So the hour hand on a clock. And the second hour, O-U-R, means hour. So for example, in my family, if I'm talking about my family, or maybe my brother and I are together, we would say our family, or our parents. Then the next example we have is no and no. So the first no is the K-N-O-W. That is to have an idea about something, to understand something, to know something. Or maybe you know a person. You can say, oh, I know him. Then no, N-O, is the opposite of yes. So no. Sometimes if somebody asks you a question and they ask, can you do this? And you say no. So you are refusing no. And, ooh, yes, don't forget to give a thumbs up to support the channel. Yes, that's great. I see someone from Ecuador, Botswana, ooh, wow. India and Canada and Bangladesh. Amazing. This is very, very international. And okay. So again, feel free to write comments about the lesson, or if you want to say hello, where you're from, any questions, you can type that in the chat. Okay, so we went over these. So now we have this example, one and one. So the first one, W-O-N, is the past tense of win. So for example, if you're in a competition, maybe you have a baseball game or a basketball match, and your team won the match. Then we have this one, O-N-E, that is the number, one. One. Okay. And then the next example we have is your and your. So the first your, Y-O-U-R, is the possessive, like your family, your house, where is your bag? Then we have your, Y-O-U apostrophe R-E, that is you are, the contraction. You are something, something. So you're in school today, for example. And then the last example we have right here is theirs and theirs. So the first one, theirs, T-H-E-I-R-S, and then we have the second one, T-H-E-R-E apostrophe S. So theirs would be, again, similar to your, this your. It's a contraction for there is. So there's many nice things in this room. And theirs is when you're talking about, oh, that's theirs. This jacket is theirs. Or maybe, oh, I think this car is theirs. You're not sure. Something like that. And then right below all of these word examples, we have some sentence examples. And if you guys would love to make any examples yourself, please type the sentences into the chat and I'll try to read out as many examples as I see. So the first example that I have in a sentence is using hour and hour. So for example, the appointment will take about 1 hour. So that's the time. Then we have OUR, our house was built 20 years ago. And then the second example sentence I have right here is she has long hair. So that's this. This is hair. It could be hair here. You can also say hair, for example, on your arms. So hair. And then this one, it depends on how you read it. I think certain countries might read it differently, but he is the heir or heir to the throne, which is maybe, for example, there's a king and then his son will take over. Then that would be all the homophones here. And if you would, again, like to comment any examples that you have or ask questions, then feel free to do that. So next we have homographs. Okay. So again, if you forgot, homograph would be something that has the same spelling. It could be a same sound or a different sound, and then the meaning is different, of course. So the first one we have is this word. You can read it like content or content. So if we're talking about content, that's like the information, for example, today's content is about homonyms, homophones, and homographs. So that's what the topic is or what the information is about. Then we have the word content, which is satisfied or you're happy. And then the next example I have here is this word. So you can read this word as minute. So for example, that would be related to time. So 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 10 minutes. And then we have minute. You can read it as minute, which means like it's very, very small. So a very minute detail would be like a very, very tiny, small detail. The next example we have is this word right here, which I kind of put on the side, the two ways you can read it, which would be read and read. So read would be essentially the past tense of read. So read is, for example, I want to read this new book. And then the past tense, I read a lovely detective novel last night. And then we have this word right here, which is, ooh, I just erased it, but present or present. So present is like, on Christmas, your birthday, hopefully you guys will get presents and give presents. And then to present is pretty much similar to what I'm doing. I'm presenting something. So you're giving a presentation, you're showing off something, explaining something. Then the next example we have is this word. You can read it as permit. So maybe, for example, you need to get a permit to drive or a permit to park here. And then permit, which is to allow something. Next, we have this word, which you can read as tear. So maybe, for example, you're crying and then you have a tear stream down your face. Or you can say tear. So that's this action, tear. Next, we have this word. You can say wind. For example, oh, the wind is so strong and it's blowing really, really hard. Or you can say wind. So maybe you're winding something. Like you have you ever seen like the jack in the box and you have to wind him up? Like that. The next word we have is this word. You can read it as bass, which would be the very, very big instrument. Maybe some of you even play that. And then you can read it as bass, so sea bass. That would be a type of fish. Next we have is this one, this word. So you can read it as close. So maybe there's a person right here, they're very close to me. Or it doesn't even have to be in a physical sense, like me and my best friend, we are very, very close. Or you can read it as close. So the door is open and you close the door. Then we have this word, which you can read as lead. So maybe if you are generally a very charismatic person, you like to lead groups of people, or you're a leader. Or you can read it as lead, which is the metal. So for example, when you're writing in pencil, you use lead. And this last example I put right here is this word, B-O-W. You can read it as a bow. So for example, if you're into archery, you would use a bow. And you can read the word as bow. So this would be a bow. And an example sentence that I put right here is with the word can. So I can lift weights. So this is ability to do something. I can lift weights. Or he bought a can of soda. So usually sodas come in can. You can get a can of beans. You can have a can of fruit. So that's what you would see at the grocery store. And then lastly, what I have on the board right here, sorry, I was blocking everyone's view, but now you guys can see it, are the examples for homonyms if you follow the very strict definition where it's supposed to be the same sound and same spelling. So first example, fine. So it has the same sound and same spelling, but the meaning is different depending on how you use it in a sentence. So fine, this is fine. That means that's okay. This is fine. This is all right. Or he got a fine for parking on the sidewalk. So a fine would be like a penalty, a ticket, something like that. They are both spelled the same way, and they sound exactly the same, but the meaning is completely different depending on the context and how you use it. Then we have left. So you can turn left, which is left. This is my left hand, this is my right hand, left, right, right, left. And then you can say he left the store. So that would be the past tense of leave. Then we have lie. You can say, I told a very small white lie. Or you could say, I want to lie down. So those are the two different meanings. Again, they are spelled completely the same way, and they sound the same, but the meaning is completely different depending on how you use the word. Then we have this one, train. So a train would be the mode of transportation that you would ride. So I took a train this morning to get here to do this live stream, and the train was very crowded, not fun. Or you can train for a marathon. So maybe every day you're working really hard, practicing running. That would be to train. Next, we have a bat. So a bat, if you know Batman, that's based on he's based on an animal, which is the black animal creature with wings. They have like sharp teeth. They're usually associated with Halloween, vampires, so bat. Or maybe, for example, you play baseball and you have a baseball bat or you're batting. Then we have the word case. So you could say like, I'm taking on a new case. Maybe you're a detective or you're a judge or something like that, and you're taking on a new assignment, a case. Or maybe you have like a case, which could be a case of beer or something like that, if you guys are into drinking. Then we have fast. So fast would be, you can use it to mean I am going to fast tomorrow. That would be I don't want to eat. So a lot of religions will actually have different types of fast. So that means that they stop eating for a period, usually generally a long period of time. Or fast meaning like really quick, very quickly. So I run very fast. I don't, but just in this example, I do. Then we have light, which could mean lights, like on the ceiling. All the bright lights are shining. Or I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And then light meaning not heavy, so very lightweight. I'm light. And then the last one we have is well. So well could be like, oh, I'm doing well. So I'm doing fine. I'm doing quite nicely. Or well, as in you have a bucket, you walk all the way to maybe up a mountain, and then there is a well, and then you use the bucket to get water. So that's well. So depending on what you want to use the word in, it has a different meaning. And that would be a homonym. And okay, just very quickly, let me just see if anyone new joined. Yes, I see someone from Tunisia, Laos. And yes, somebody gave an example, night and night. The first night being N-I-G-H-T, which is like the evening when it's dark out, it's nighttime. And then K-N-I-G-H-T, which is like the soldier that fights for the king, the knight in shining armor. That's a great example. And then someone else also gave the example of sun and sun, so S-O-N. For example, I have a brother, so my brother is my dad's son. And then S-U-N, the sun, the shining sun that is blazing hot. And right now, at least in Japan, the sun is shining really, really intensely and it's really hot, so not a fan of that. But those are all very great examples, and I'm so glad that you guys put those into the comments and the chat. And then for those of you who maybe joined late, I see someone from Romania, someone else from Brazil, Ohio. Ooh, nice. I have a friend actually from Ohio. And yes, I see a bunch of nice faces. And oh, thank you, English with Tyler. You rock as well. So thank you for that comment. And again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to type that into the chat right now. And if you missed it at the beginning, right here, this banner right below, you can open the description and click the link, and that will lead you to a bunch of different PDF cheat sheets with different vocabulary words for all different kinds of topics. You can find topics about family and friends. You can find topics about shopping, music, going to the airport, time, whatever your heart desires. You'll be able probably to find that right here. So just open the description, click the link, and then you can go ahead and download all the different PDF cheat sheets that you would like. And now I will just step aside very quickly in case you would like to screenshot the board. So please go ahead and do that. And hopefully my handwriting is good enough that you guys can read all the words I wrote. So please feel free to go ahead, take that screenshot, save it for later. Okay. And yes, so thank you guys for joining today's stream. Someone from Pakistan, another person from Taiwan. from Haiti. Ooh, it's 8:14 in the morning for someone. That's quite early. It's 10 right now for Japan. And Pakistan, Taiwan, India, Haiti. Thank you guys all for joining. And I'll see you guys next time for the next stream.